Elon Musk and Twitter are on a collision course. Hi everyone, I'm Jeff, and this is Plain English, where we help you upgrade your English with current events and trending topics. JR is the producer, and he has uploaded this full lesson to plainenglish.com/490. That's because we're already up to lesson number 490. Time flies, right? Coming up today, remember how Elon Musk was going to buy Twitter? Yeah, that deal ran into some complications. Today's lesson is a deep dive into the world of mergers and acquisitions, what we call M&A for short. And this is one of those rare instances in which I know what I'm talking about because I spent over 10 years working in the M&A industry as a consultant. I'll try to keep this lesson as understandable as possible, but I'm warning you, this one is a little harder to understand than normal. So get ready. In the second half of the lesson, I'll show you what it means to side with someone, and we have a quote of the week. Let's dive in. Elon Musk, the world's richest man, and Twitter, a social media network, are locked in a legal battle that has no good outcome. We last visited this topic in mid-May in lesson 468. Here is a brief history lesson. Elon Musk has long been a power user of Twitter. Over 100 million people follow him, making him one of the platform's most popular users. He is also a loud critic. He has complained that there are too many spam bots on the platform, and he has agitated for an edit button. Musk is also absurdly rich, with money from PayPal and Tesla. Now, many rich people decide they want to own media properties. Here in the US, that usually means a rich person buys a newspaper. Jeff Bezos, for example, bought the Washington Post. But Musk decided he wanted a new media company, so he quietly accumulated over 9% of Twitter's shares on the stock market. Confusion ensued when he announced he didn't want to use his ownership to influence the company. Then he said he wanted to sit on Twitter's board of directors. Then said, never mind, he didn't want to influence the company whatsoever. And then he said, you know what? I'll buy the whole thing and implement all my great ideas. The fog of confusion cleared when he came up with the money needed to buy the whole public company, meaning the other 91% of it. Musk pledged to use his influence as the new owner to finally get rid of all the annoying spam bots and improve the user experience. Twitter and Musk signed an acquisition agreement that required Musk to pay $54 per share for all the shares he didn't already own. It would be $44 billion in total. A lot of money, even for him. The price was Musk's joke. If you don't get the joke, just look at the last 3 digits of the number 54.20. Then a funny thing happened. The stock market tanked. It went down. And that meant 2 bad things for Elon. First, all of Twitter's peer companies declined in value, which meant Twitter was worth less too. Elon's joke price of $54.20 already seemed a little rich. After the general decline in the market, the price seemed way too high. The other thing that happened is that Tesla's stock fell in value. Now, Tesla is where most of Musk's fortune is. Ergo, if Tesla fell in value, Musk himself was worth less money. So he was simultaneously paying too much and he had less money than he did before. For those 2 reasons, Musk wanted out of the deal. Unfortunately for him, though, in situations like this, the buyer can't just cancel the deal because he doesn't like it anymore or because the market fell. If the market declines between the time the contract is signed and when the deal closes, that is the buyer's problem. In other words, that is Elon Musk's problem. He still has to pay the price he agreed on, even if he doesn't want to anymore, even if the price now seems too high. The law and contracts are pretty clear. Well, a buyer can at least try. Buyers can walk away from mergers and acquisitions for a few narrow reasons. The basic concept is this. If the target company, in this case Twitter, if the target company withheld information, lied, or otherwise cheated the buyer, and if that lie would affect the company's value, then, and only then, can the buyer walk away. Again, I am simplifying, but this is the basic idea. None of that happened in this case, but Elon is giving it a shot anyway. He said he was canceling the deal because he believes that there are too many spam users on Twitter. This is preposterous. Back in April, he said that the number of spam users on Twitter was a reason he wanted to buy the company. Now, the spam users are a reason he doesn't want to buy it. He is also grumbling about the amount of data that Twitter provided him. Twitter is now suing Musk, saying that Musk is required to follow through on his agreement and really buy the whole company. This is awkward, to say the least. Twitter is saying, you don't want us, but you have to buy us anyway. Believe it or not, this argument will be heard in state court in the state of Delaware, where most large corporations are based. Delaware Chancery Court, it's called. And the court is in an impossible position. There are only two potential outcomes from the case. If the court sides with Elon Musk, then Musk will be required to pay Twitter a relatively small $1 billion breakup fee, but he would not be required to buy the whole company, and he would walk away. But this would open the door to all kinds of problems in the future. If the court sides with Musk, then every buyer in a similar situation in the future will try the same trick, and that would not be good. But would the court really side with Twitter? Think about what would happen in that case. The court can order Elon Musk to buy a company he doesn't even want. And not only that, he's hell-bent on destroying Twitter now, at least if you believe his tweets. That outcome, a court ordering Musk to buy Twitter, that would be good for Twitter's shareholders, the owners, who would get their $54.20 per share, far more than Twitter's true value right now. Great. But what would that mean for the 7,500 people who work there? Or the 450 million users around the world? The boss of this business wouldn't even want the job. Would a court really order that just to enforce this contract? Personally, I think the court has to. So Twitter has two bad potential outcomes. Elon Musk walks away, and a shell-shocked Twitter is left with a tarnished reputation, low employee morale, and a depressed value. Or, the other option, Twitter gets a new owner that doesn't even want it. What a mess. For those of you following this, or if you're into finance, I know, there is more to this than I had room for in this lesson. I know he might try to blow up his financing. I know he's arguing about the fired executives. I know about the NDA, that he disparaged the company publicly. I know about the 5% spam estimates. I know about the emoji. I know about the information request. I know. But listen, I had to stop somewhere. I read most of Twitter's legal complaint against Musk. It is extremely well-reasoned and seems airtight. I'm not a lawyer, thankfully, but I don't see how any of Musk's arguments would win. Whatever happens will be interesting. Today's English expression is side with. This is a phrasal verb, so yes, in this case, side is an action, not a thing. To side with someone means to agree with that person or to support that person in an argument. We usually use this when two people are in an argument or disagreement and another person chooses to agree with one of the people in the argument. Just now, at the end of today's lesson on Elon Musk and Twitter, I was describing the impossible choice of the Delaware Chancery Court, where Twitter's lawsuit against Elon Musk is being heard. If the judge sides with Musk, meaning if the judge agrees with Musk, then the billionaire mogul will pay a $1 billion breakup fee to Twitter, but he won't be required to buy the company. If the judge sides with Twitter, agrees with Twitter, then Musk will have to buy the company. So the judge will have to make a choice. Which side will the judge be on? Will the judge side with Musk, or will the judge side with Twitter? When I searched Google News for examples of side with, I found most of the examples are about court cases. Here's one. A high school football coach liked to kneel down and pray at the 50-yard line. That's the center of the football field in American football. Now, this is a pretty typical Middle America controversy. Our culture prizes the freedom of religious expression on the one hand, but also the separation of religion from official government policy on the other. So what happens if a public school employee prays in public at a school event? The school said he shouldn't do it, but the coach disagreed, saying he personally had a right to express himself and he wasn't making anyone else pray with him. The case went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court sided with the football coach. The court agreed with, supported the coach. He can pray on the football field. Family dynamics can be difficult. Imagine you have a sibling and you frequently argue with the sibling. And imagine that your parents always agree with your sister, let's say. You can complain to your parents, "You both always side with my sister in any disagreement." That means when my sister and I argue, you, my parents, always agree with my sister. This was a long lesson, so I'll give you a short quote of the week. It's by the author H.G. Wells. He said, civilization is in a race between education and catastrophe. That feels true to me. That's all for today. Coming up on Thursday, I threw it open to the members of the Plain English Facebook group. I had 2 topics in mind, and I didn't know which one to create. So I put a poll in the Facebook group, and I asked all of you. Now, I thought I knew what you would pick, and I was wrong. The topic on Thursday was the overwhelming favorite on Facebook. I'll do that again soon. If I'm ever on the fence about what to write, I'll put up a poll on Facebook and just ask what you want to see. So if you're not on Facebook with us, come join us at plainenglish.com/Facebook, and then you'll get to vote on future lesson topics. But for now, you'll just have to wait and see what your peers chose for Thursday's lesson. That comes out in just 3 short days. See you then.